Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new episode of Beauty History. I am your host, Allison Chase. Beauty history is where beauty, makeup, fashion, and history coincides. And today we are taking a retrospective of Chanel makeup launches of spring past. I have recently just been inspired by previous Chanel spring releases because we are in the spring fashion season. So we're going to go through memory lane and look at some old ads that I've found on the internet. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. Before we dive in, I just want to give a special shout out to those of you who used the thanks button in last month's video. We talked about Vivienne Westwood, the renegade, the punk fashion icon. So Maria C used the thanks button twice. Thank you, Maria. I hope that was intentional. And also Alexandra Middleberg, thank you so much. The thanks button is like a tip jar, basically. If ever you have felt inspired or reinvigorated after watching one of my videos, feel free to use the thanks button. Okay, first off, we're starting with spring 2005. This was one of the more early vintage ads. I know vintage is maybe not the most appropriate term for this. I think vintage has to be at least 25 years old. I don't know, but we're going to use vintage very loosely here. So we have this spring 2005 collection called Provocatively Feminine. This looks gorgeous. I love that big, wet pink pout. I love a gloss. I love a glossy lip. I really hope that we see more glossy lips for spring, summer, and just going on. I just feel like matte lips had a moment, but this super pink pout, and her eyes are so blue and it's so complemented with the pink lips. It must have been a lipstick and lip gloss combination here. And if you remember any of these collections, if you have them, leave comments down below, please. It's called Provocatively Feminine, and it's giving a little bit of like a punk rock edgy feminine. You know, it's like she has that super sharp cut. It's like all over the place, and it looks a bit edgy. It looks really nice. The compact here, I really don't know what that is. It looks quilted. Love that. Love the extraness, but I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a highlighter or an eyeshadow maybe. It's hard to tell because I'm not sure if that's to scale compared to the gloss and the lipstick, but she looks great. She looks wonderful. And I also really love that obviously this is a print photo for a magazine, so she has a lot of makeup on and she certainly has contouring going on, but it really just looks like lips, something on the cheeks, and something on the eyes. It doesn't look too much, it doesn't look too heavy. It looks very minimalistic, even though we know it's not. It looks gorgeous. I love this. And it also looks like a minimalistic collection, just a few items. There may have been more that we just don't see in this ad here. This is from, I think, a Neiman Marcus ad. It looks almost like it was ripped out of a magazine, but let us know if you have this collection. Now, we are moving on to 2006. So in 2006, I was in university. Yeah, I think that was my first year of university, something like that. I did not have the budget for Chanel, absolutely not. But here we have the 2006 Lumière Magique de Chanel. So this is magic lights. That's what that translates to. This looks so beautiful. Again, this looks like a magazine print ad here. It says Lumière Magique Spring 2006 Effortless Chic. So it's a very different look to the first campaign that we saw. And I know it's 2006, but it has a little bit of a 90s vibe. I guess it's like early 2000s where we have a little bit of a frosted lip. I love the nail polish and lipstick. It's a little bit of like that mauvey frost. Love that. I love a nail polish, and I'm not sure. I think she's wearing the nail polish. If we look closer at the nail polish, it looks like a light lilac pastel. I prefer a more opaque nail polish. I'm not a fan of like the pearlescent colors, but a lot of people are. She looks like she's wearing a lot more makeup in this ad here. It looks like purple on the eyes. It looks just like a little bit heavier, and the makeup looks different as well. And the hair, I mean, the hair looks different as well. Very nice. I like purple, but what I am intrigued by is this little compact here on the side. Let's see if we can get a different photo here. I'm going to list all of the blogs that I'm using because I'm using lots of different blogs here. So they're all listed down below. Go ahead and check them out. I always leave all of my sources. But this here, this blush, this is what I'm talking about. When I mean Chanel, I mean this Lumière Magique de Chanel. This trio blend here, that is so pretty, isn't it? It's like a blend of the classic baked blushes before the reformulation. Don't even get me started. This is like a rose, coral, a baby pink with gold in it. Doesn't this look gorgeous? I would just take my brush and swirl and swirl and swirl and it would get destroyed, but I would take lots of photos and videos before I would do that, and it looks so pretty. I love it. I just think it's so pretty. I honestly wish Chanel would come out with smaller releases and just come out with this. Just give me one really beautiful item. That's what I would prefer personally. This blush, I think that's so pretty. Now, moving on to 2008. This is the Chanel Spring 2008 Aurora Blues Accent Spring Collection. Now, this is my type, a spring collection. I think it's interesting looking at all of these spring releases because we sometimes have an idea of like, oh, a spring release is these colors, pastels for spring, how groundbreaking. But as we can see, over the years, it really depends. Some years it's rocker chic, some years it's purple, some years it's blue. I love a blue eyeshadow, clearly. What's interesting is that there are 2 palettes to choose from. And this first one here, this looks like something that came out a few years ago for a spring release. But this one here, it looks like a camellia flower. I imagine that this palette was very transparent and translucent in opacity. Some of their older palettes were like that. But this looks like a very light pastel camellia patterned palette. I'm sure it sold out immediately. But this second palette here, a little bit more my vibe here. I love that there's a nail polish, a liner, and an eyeshadow all in blue. And the nail polish is blue satin. If you have blue satin, let us know in the comments. I don't know exactly which eyeshadow palette this is. Maybe I can find it somewhere written. Okay, it's called Bleu Celeste, so Blue Celeste. There was also a blush listed here, but I don't see it in any of the photos that I have here. But it looks like there's also a liner. I don't know if that's Blue Jean or another blue liner in the smudgy ones. I like them, but I prefer the waterproof liners. And this I thought was a concealer, but it's actually a gloss. It looks like those transparent shimmery glosses. I really hope they reformulate the glosses because they're like impossible to find right now and it's very annoying. But here we also have the Blanc de Chanel. This is a primer, and the Poudre Cristalline. I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is. Some sort of loose setting powder. And then here we have other nail polishes that were part of this. So we have the blue satin, then we have the rose satin, then we have the white satin, and then azure, I think, the light blue one. I would have definitely enjoyed them. I probably would have gotten the 2 blues and the white. If it's like a whiteout white, I would have gotten that. Love this. Now we're skipping a little bit to a spring 2010. And this again is like so different from what we saw earlier. I don't know what the name of this one here is. Chanel, Les Impressions de Chanel. All right. The Impressions of Chanel. Okay. This one almost looks like a Les Beige campaign, don't you think? Like it looks more bronzy, more neutral. It doesn't look like florals and pinks and pastels and blues. It looks earthy. It looks bronzy. Look at this. Excuse me. That's what we're talking about. This is what we want. This is what we want, Chanel. You should listen to me. You should hire me. Seriously. Look at this, look at the sand. It looks gorgeous. I do feel like this has a Les Beige vibe. I should do research on the Les Beige collections and find out the history of that. This looks gorgeous. I feel like this campaign here for the blush and the compacts and the sands, you could release this now and I wouldn't know the difference. I wouldn't know that this came out earlier because this just looks timeless. This is like a close-up. This must be a highlighter because it has a little bit, it looks like reflection or glitter. Hopefully it wasn't too glittery, but you never know. The eyeshadow here is called, the 5 shadow quad here is called Casca Beige. I've never heard of this. It looks so pretty. It looks plummy, but gold. Interesting that it's called Casca Beige. I don't know what Casca means, but it looks like a rich plum with the gold. I would wear that. I think I would enjoy that. And then these nail polishes here, I just love the sand. I like this whole campaign. I think it looks great. I think it looks really lovely. And then, remember when Chanel used to come out with single eyeshadows? I remember the days. So these are single powder shadows. I hope they bring them back. I mean, I do like their liquid shadows, the singles. They're good. I like them. But I would just like to see more singles. As much as I love a funky eyeshadow look, I also enjoy simplicity. And then the Glossomers, justice for the Rouge Coco gloss, please. Let's bring them back. I think these look really pretty. They all look sort of like neutral, nudie, a little bit of pink, a little bit of beige. Again, let's just take a moment to look at this compact. It must have been like a bronzer maybe, or like a highlighter or something. These nude lipsticks, so Chanel, so like nude, neutral, beautiful. This photo is so nice. I love this. Yeah, it's like neutral nude with a bit of pink. I'm kind of reiterating a lot here, but this nail polish here on the side, Particulière, I love this one. I have this one. It's not from that campaign, but I bought it a couple of years ago, actually several years ago, and it's still really nice. Particulière is like the perfect neutral beige brown. It's gorgeous. And then we have Inattendu and Tendresse. I don't have either of the other ones, but I'm sure they were lovely. And it's like very like neutral nude with a bit of pink. Love that. 10 out of 10 for marketing. Skipping ahead to Chanel, Spring 2012, Harmonie de Printemps, Spring Harmony. Gorgeous. She's looking out on the horizon. It looks like a sunrise or sunset. Just that's what the inspiration I'm receiving here, just from like the stripes, and I don't know, that's what it looks like to me. This looks very pretty. It's giving me a little bit more coral as the color story here. I think it's really lovely. I love the blush. I love the stripes. I love it. I think it's super cute. And then here we have a series of Rouge Allure. Yeah, just the Rouge Allure, and then the Rouge Coco. I think those were the Flash. Those are the super glossy lipsticks. I really like those. I still have some of the older ones, but now it's like they're called something else. They always like reinvent them and call them something else, and it's always very similar, but a slightly different name. It's all giving me very pretty, either a sunset or a sunrise, just beautiful harmony of colors. And then these nail polishes, I remember these. April, June, and May. How quaint, how cutesy. April, June, and May. I think I have April and May. May is not great because it's like it's a pink, but on my skin tone it was like it made my hands look too red. April is still gorgeous. I have it somewhere. I never got June, but I think I would have enjoyed June because I just like a nice creamsicle orange color, but these were gorgeous. And here's a photo of the display back in time. I really love the blush. It looks like the horizon. It looks like the background. I love it. I love it all. This definitely looks like a bigger collection. I feel like as the years go by, the collections are getting bigger and bigger. And this size, this scale of collection kind of looks more on the same scale that we have today. Moving forward to spring 2015, this is the Rêverie Parisienne, a very Paris in spring inspired collection. I was working for the brand at this time, and what I liked is that there was two looks. There was like one that was more fuchsia pink and one that was more corally orange. So depending on your mood, you could just go with either one. And I still have some of these items from this release here. The eyeshadow palette I have, what was it called? Like Tissé Paris, maybe something like that. It's pink and gray, which you wouldn't think to wear. It was gorgeous. I wore it all the time. I think this one here, the mirror on the compact broke off at some point, but I still love it. And then the nail polish, I wore the crap out of it. Desirio, it's like a fuchsia pink, so pretty. It's so gorgeous. I wore this all the time because when you work for the brand, your nail polish is meant to be your uniform. So you have to wear nail polish when you're working there. And then the lipstick, I don't remember what this one is exactly, but it was really pretty. Now let's move on to 2016 LA Sunrise. I remember when I like unboxed it at the counter, I was like, this is so beautiful. And this, I have deep, deep makeup regret because I did not purchase this for myself. So what I would do is I would go to work, or like if I was opening, I would go to work early. And then what you do is like you disinfect the makeup and then you apply the makeup so you can sell it. When people are like, oh, what are you wearing? You're like, I'm wearing this. That makes sense. And I would wear it and it was gorgeous. I sold so much of it because I look great in blue eyeshadow. But I didn't buy this collection for myself for whatever reason. And I really regret not getting this blush specifically. Look at this. Look at this. I love the ribbons. It's giving me, it reminds me of one of the previous releases we saw with the Horizon striped blush. It's giving me, it's LA Sunrise. So it's giving you the stripes of the horizon and the sand and the beach. It's so beautiful. Ugh, the coral, the pink, the bronze. I really, really, really wish I had this one because it's so pretty. And I love how flashy it is. I do. I just genuinely love how flashy the colors are. Sometimes you just need like this massive injection of color and life into yourself just to revive yourself. And I think this is so gorgeous. And this nail polish here, a sunrise trip, I should have bought this. I should have. I don't know why I didn't. What a makeup regret, because this is exactly the type of thing I like. Something a little bit flashy, a little bit classy at the same time. It looked really, really dark in the bottle, but you could, once you would apply it, you could really get it to be a nice, flashier purple, and it was so pretty. Ugh. The palette was so gorgeous because this blue in the palette, it was so bright, and I loved the blue and the light lavender. I dug into that all the time when I would wear it. It was so pretty, and it sold out so fast at the counter. Like, it didn't really last that long, and I loved the cream shadows. I loved the blue. There's like a green that's nice too, but for me, I went into the blue cream shadow first, and then the blue from the palette and a bit of the lavender, and that was that. And I sold everything that I was wearing. The liners were really nice as well. I think this is where Purple Shock came from. I have Purple Shock. I don't have the Pacific Green liner, but Purple Shock was beautiful, and you could wear it with a little bit more of the like lavender colors. And then there was also a purple mascara. They often do colorful mascara, but they don't often do purple, which I would love. I mean, I love a purple lip. And then there's also one of the Rouge Coco Shine. So I guess it was Shine first. This one was like a Barbie pink, a bubblegum pink. And yeah, I love it. I would love, love, love to just like see another collection like this, just like flash out of the blue. Like, here's a pop, an infusion of color into your dreary, cold winter life. I would love to see this. Now, let's go ahead and round off today's video with the Chanel Spring 2017 collection, Chanel Coco Codes collection. Now, when I look at this, I want that Rubik's Cube. Is that a Rubik's Cube? It's a bit smaller than one. I want it so bad. It's just some random little gift with purchase, but I want it so bad. How beautiful. This Harmony Blush Compact with Coco Code written on it, so beautiful, and it looks like it corresponds to the little Rubik's Cube that they got. I'm a little bit jealous of them, but good for them. This looks so gorgeous. I'm a little bit apprehensive of the red, but again, I would just take my brush and swirl and swirl and swirl forever. How beautiful. So they said that the compact here had 2 shimmery shades, a shimmer beige and gold, and 2 mattes, red and brown. Interesting. A little bit apprehensive still, but I'll take the word for it. And then this is Code Elegance. I think that's the palette here, Code Elegance. This one here, a lot of you still have, and a lot of you have talked about this one here. They said that this palette was too shimmery for them. Let me know what you think if you have this palette here. I do remember, I kind of miss this old formula of the baked shadows. Some of them were a little bit too soft for me, where they were almost invisible, but some of them were also really nice and satiny. And the hues were different. It's definitely a different texture than we have now. I kind of miss it sometimes, just because sometimes it was a bit softer and more buildable. I kind of miss that one. We had also a Rouge Allure, and then a Rouge Coco Flash, and then also a liner as well. So, I mean, it looks very nice, very standard, very elegant, you know, nothing, no blues, no purples, no rocker chic, just like a very elegant, harmonious Chanel look. I can see why it was extremely popular. So that is the end of today's video. Here are some of my favorite, and in my opinion, some of the best releases of Chanel spring makeup. There are a lot of other collections, a lot of other spring releases, but I just went through the archives and I don't know, I wanted to talk about the ones that stood out to me the most, that I missed, that I regret not getting, or I just think are the nicest, but this is just my opinion. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think was Chanel's best spring makeup release. Leave a comment down below. And if you're not subscribed, I encourage you to do so. I talk a lot about luxury beauty, a lot about Chanel, and I do these types of beauty history episodes every now and then. It's actually the first Friday of each month. I think I forgot to mention that. Yeah, it's the first Friday of each month. I do a beauty history episode. I often do like a documentary style video on a fashion icon, and sometimes I do a little bit more of a nostalgic blast from the past video. But that is today's video. So thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.